George Musi, Head of Crossmedia Analytics there in MediaMind. In terms of analytics, what are the challenges of optimization in a digital marketing?
So optimization can only be had with having the right data on the core. So the most important thing to be able to do anything is to first identify which data sets are actually important. Right? So it all starts with the objectives and outcomes. Once you have that, then you kind of work your way down to have good data. And once you isolate that data, you have to understand the kind of flaws that are inherent in data. Optimization, true optimization, be it media mix modeling, attribution, predictive, forecasting, anything that allows somebody to take real-time data to be able to drive some type of new action requires data to be really core. It requires data to be really valued, understood, and therefore applied extremely well. And I think that's a lot of the limitation that we have in our business, is that people blindly pull in data from a bunch of resources and then apply advanced analytics, and then when they see that it doesn't work, they discredit the data. Where in actuality, it's really not the data's fault per se, it's you have to extract or dilute that data where it's usable data. Because in the data that we have today, there's a lot of noise, right? And that noise creates a lot of variability. And when you introduce that variability in advanced analytics, of course that if you have noise, then the ability to impact the consumer is not going to be as powerful because you're using faulty data. Right? Faulty data that's you have the ability to extract out and really have a core usable data set. It allows that optimization engine to run very, very smoothly.
And why is data maturity so important in the digital marketing industry?
So I think we in the digital space we think we're very, very smart as it relates to data, which I always tell people in the digital world that the TV world has about 75 to 80 years, depending on where you are, of big data, big data. Right? Now you're talking about the digital world of 10 years, and more recently the dynamic world of 5 years. It's like having a grown-up adult versus a child. How do you expect a child of 5 years to be mature versus an adult of 75 years that has been through life and understands and has the ability to adapt and readapt? So I think our industry loves to say that, well, we know everything about data, we know that how it's applied, how we can do it, what we can't do. But in reality, we're yet to break the surface of what this data really means to us. Probably some of that has to account with is, a lot of people that work in the digital world, right? They're a few years out of college, maybe first job, second job, where a lot of people that work in the traditional side probably have about 15, 20, 30 years of experience. So it's experience, knowledge, as well as fully understanding what's available. And we love to say in the digital world we're mature in our way that we approach data, we're mature in a way that we approach analytics, we're mature in a way that we apply it. In reality, we're very, very actually immature. And I think that's probably one of the biggest abilities of us as an industry to say, okay, I recognize that I'm not mature enough to understand, and I actually am going to learn how to do it better. And that is difficult for somebody to admit. Nobody wants to admit that. And I think if you ask people that question away from the lights and the cameras and everything else, they'll admit to you that, yeah, you're absolutely right. I actually don't know as much as I say. Because it comes out. It actually comes out. It's relevant and evident in everything that you see in the digital space when things don't work. When data doesn't do what it's supposed to do, when analytics doesn't deliver what it's supposed to do, when advanced analytics optimization doesn't deliver, people are like, oh, it doesn't work. When in reality, you're just not smart enough yet to fully understand all the critical components. Remember, data is powerful, but again, if you don't understand it, it's useless. And therefore, if that is wrong, everything else that's come afterwards, it's going to be faulty. And then nobody wants to admit that and say, well, it's not me, it's somebody else. And that's an inherent flaw in our business. Very inherent.
And finally, why is the impression a critical component for analytics?
So the most important thing in advertising is getting to the target consumer. Right? So without getting in front of somebody, you have nothing. Right? Your ad cannot have the ability to communicate anything. So the impression is probably the purest or most important initial step as it relates to the progression of analytics. Without impression, right, you have pretty much nothing else that follows. So if you can't say that I achieved a simple reach of an audience, I can't say anything else that follows. I can't say relevance, I can't say resonance, I can't say reaction, I can't say impact, I can't say performance, anything that comes after. That's why the impression is such a hot and important topic for us, because without the impression, a valid impression, you can't have a valid GRP. And without a valid GRP, you have no transaction. Without transaction, you have no one to absorb.
Thank you very much for
Thank
this
you.
interview.
Thank you very much.